Okay, I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting to order for Tuesday, September 7th. Roll call, please. Terry.
Mayor Kadowski.
Here.
Jim Allen. Jake Krieger.
Here.
Steve Kabacki.
Hey.
Mike Stippington.
Here.
Gary Paul.
Here.
And Corey Campbell.
Here.
Okay, please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform, especially through this major conflict that we're having right now. Okay, I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Action on the minutes for the Plan Commission regular meeting of August 10th, 2021.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda, must state name and address, limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel items cannot be discussed nor individuals named. Board is not able to take action at this meeting. Is there any members of the public that would like to speak on items not on the agenda? Okay, anybody on, oh, there's nobody virtual.
Joel, do you?
Okay, so we're moving on to number 7. Public hearing, the public hearing regarding proposed territory amendment number 2 for TID number 5. Aaron.
All right, just some background on TID number 5. TID number 5 was set up as a blight elimination tax increment district, or TID. The area it covers is basically the stadium district, entertainment area, and also comes down this far south to include the Capital Credit Union Park Stadium. In your packet, you'll see a copy of the map, and I'll just bring it up here for reference. So here you can see Lambeau Field, the Resch Expo, the Hudson Center, Mike McCarthy Way, Holmgren Way, down to Cormier. So the area in green is the current boundaries of TID number 5. This was amended back in 2018, I believe it was, 2019, to include a few additional areas. The proposal at this point is to amend the boundaries only. There are no project plan amendments. This is strictly a boundary amendment to try to identify and capture a couple of properties that we believe may develop and may potentially need TID assistance. The proposed amendment, as you'll see on the attached map, is a little unique. The proposal is to connect TID number 5 via the CN rail properties to the south of the village, connect through WPS, over through the Reserve Center property, include the subway and car dealership, and then connect across the interchange at 41 to the old Menards property. As you can see, it does capture a couple other properties here, hopefully to capture some additional increment and or projects that may or may not develop over the next few years. The reason for this, again, is to hopefully facilitate some development, as well as try to financially stabilize TID number 5. It is doing fine overall. Based upon the projection, it is projected to finish in the black. However, as we all know, considering we just went through COVID and we had 2008 issues, we want to make sure that when we set this up, that it will no doubt finish in the black to the benefit of the residents of the village. We believe that the proposed territory amendment will help facilitate that and provide, stabilize the TID moving forward. Did ask Joel to sit up here in the hot seat with me. So after the public hearing, we'll go into the details of the action item.
Okay, is there anybody who would like to speak for or against in this public hearing? Is there anybody who would like to speak for or against in this public hearing? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor.
Seconded.
Motion to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The public hearing is closed. Number 8, action items. 8A, action regarding Resolution R 9-1-21 regarding proposed territory amendment number 2 for TID number 5. Aaron and Joel, you're in the hot seat.
Okay, so as discussed during the public hearing intro, I won't bore you with the recap of that, you just heard it. The Planning Commission action, or public hearing and resolution is one of the statutory steps we have to go through to amend the TID boundary. The next step following Planning Commission action is Village Board action on the resolution, at which point then it does go back to the Joint Review Board for final action. There's a pretty strict timeline involved with any kind of TID amendment in terms of public hearings, notices, so on and so forth. So this will be on the September, is it 28th?
Yep.
Village Board meeting, and we'll follow up with the, I believe it's the October 3rd Joint Review Board meeting. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding the proposed amendment.
Does anybody have any questions? They're really, we
Aaron,
had,
Oh, fine.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Gary.
The main reason is just to financially make TIF 5 look a little better than what it is right now.
That's the goal.
With the addition to what we're hoping to be developed.
Correct. That's why we capture a few properties that we believe have real potential to develop over the next few years, as well as we did include the Bergstrom Subaru property to capture that increment towards TIF 5.
Okay, okay.
It also gives you greater level of flexibility relative to other infrastructure improvements and other uses for those dollars.
Absolutely.
I will add, just to make a few additional points to this. It obviously, from an amendment standpoint, it looks a little unusual when you look at the map. Primarily, you really are trying to focus on a TID area that is somewhat compact in nature. However, compactness is not a requirement of TID creation or TID amendment. So what is required is contiguous nature, and that contiguous nature can extend through right-of-way, whether it be railroad right-of-way or state DOT right-of-way. And so you kind of see this elongated approach. And that, again, is just to really target very specific properties and not kind of create this overall blanketed approach to the TID. And the timing of this is really geared towards trying to capture base value in this current fiscal year, so that when the new base value or the new values are decided or determined as of January 1, the TID amendment will have been completed, and that added financial benefit will support and bolster the financial outcome of the TID going forward until closure.
I think Max Anderson is smiling down on us today.
He might be.
Aaron, have we looked, is there any other properties that could be brought into this? I'm just thinking, looking at this map, that along Broadway there are a couple of other parcels of land that are on the other side of the railway that I'm wondering, since we're doing this, are we prohibited then later to add more to this after, or we just got to go through this process again?
So one of the issues that we're bumping up against is our TIDs have done really well over the years. And we have 3 TIDs in place right now. We have TID 3, TID 4, and TID 5. Mm-hmm. We're not there yet, but if we add many more properties in, we'll go up against what's called the 12% threshold for the amount of valuation you can have within a TID district or multiple TID districts. Okay. So initially, we did look at including quite a few more properties, and we bumped up against that threshold. Now, to that, we are probably going to be closing out TID number 4 probably next year, is my understanding. So following the closure of TID 4, that won't necessarily be an issue, and we can amend the boundaries of TID 5 again, although more realistically, we might be looking at is setting up a new TID, either project-specific, if there is a specific property that we're looking at that really needs to be focused on, or more holistically, larger area that we might want to look at from a larger perspective.
Okay, all right.
I would assume you picked out the properties that are the most likely to develop, number one, and number two would have the highest value created by the development.
Correct.
Okay.
When this all started, Steve, I made the comment that I've obviously been here a long time, which you were here also, because I remember opening TID 4, and now we're talking about closing it next year, so,
That's a good thing.
yeah. Okay,
I would like, this is Corey Campbell. I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of the resolution designating proposed territory amendment number 2 for tax increment district number 5 in the village of Ashwaubenon.
Good.
I can second that.
yep, okay, we have a motion and a second to recommend approval of Resolution R9-1-21. Any further comments?
One quick item. There was some discussion at the Joint Review Board regarding one additional property. It's the old, the Microtel property, which recently just sold, and we believe maybe worked into some larger development for the old Menard site. So at this point, I would like to add that property into this. You don't need to change the motion at all. It's just that's something I would like to do. I didn't amend the map yet to make that change, just to add that property.
What property are?
The Microtel property,
Oh.
just to the west of the Menards property.
Okay, okay, all right.
The reason for that is if at some point that property develops as a whole, I want to make sure that we don't run into boundary issues between the TID and the properties.
The lots, including the gas station and that little office building, they're in with the Menards property.
They are right there.
Then you're adding the microtel. Okay,
Correct.
all right.
Yep, that's right.
Anything along that Market Street, whatever it's called.
So we don't need to amend the motion for that?
No,
No.
that's, you're approving the resolution. So at Village Board, I'll make sure to have the map updated for that.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. 8B, action regarding a requested two-lot certified survey map for parcel VA-228-14-L-53, 1370 Partnership Drive. Aaron?
Okay. As you can see up on the screen, this is for the property at the corner of Partnership and Commodity. There are currently two buildings on the site. The proposed certified survey map, which I'll bring up here, is to split off this property right here from the remaining property. So Lot 1 and Lot 2, this being an L-shaped property and this being the square property. Proposed lots meet our requirements for code in terms of setbacks, frontage, so on and so forth. The only items identified for recommended conditions of approval are a couple of minor technical changes and then approval by the Brown County Planning Commission.
So basically, you've got a lot number 1 where you can, okay, you've got the daycare facility there, and then you're creating lot number 2 with the dog leg?
Correct. Yep, that's right.
What are, any thoughts on what the plans are for that, lot number 2?
It does have the existing building on there. I'm not sure, Aaron, if you have any
Okay.
idea what the plans are?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay.
I would,
Actually, Aaron, you might come up here, speak to the microphone.
Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Aaron Ballas, TNT Professional Land Surveyors, 2154 Early Street, Green Bay, Wisconsin, or Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, 54304. Long story short, the leaseholder of the
Can you pull the
daycare-
mic up, please? So good.
The leaseholder of the daycare just wanted to purchase the building, and that was the main reason for the split.
Cool.
There wasn't any new development. Matter of fact, we created an easement so that they could access the trash bins in the back.
thank you. Appreciate that.
Seeing they are adjoining right now, knowing there's asphalt parking between both buildings that are adjoined. Is there anything going to be done there to separate that fencing or something?
No, that's actually in that easement area I just mentioned. So with it being a daycare right now, they need to have bus access to the second driveway. I guess it'd be the middle driveway, if you're looking
Oh, okay, okay.
at the map there. So there's an easement going across there. It's an ingress egress. And then there's a square up behind the building that says Lot 1. That's where the trash facilities are, the dumpsters and recycling bins. And so they also will need access to that. Right now, we'll just monument the corners of the lot, and that'll be that.
Okay. Okay. There's no other questions. I'll move to approve the survey map for parcel VA.
I will second that.
Pardon? Oh, well, fine. Mary will say it anyway.
We have a
She
motion.
likes all
and-
them numbers.
We have a motion and a second to recommend approval of the requested two-lot survey map for parcel VA-228-14-L-53
And is that with staff conditions?
with staff conditions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, items for next agenda. Do we have items for next agenda?
Yes, we will.
So we will have a plan commission meeting the first Tuesday in October.
Yep, I will have at least one rezoning for sure, and potentially a couple other items.
Okay. No more items on the agenda, so I need a motion to adjourn, please.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.